Hello again, everyone. Welcome back. I am the Geordie Geek. This is the 31 Films Challenge, and it is day 30. Sonia to the end now. Again, just going to quit the ramble, dive straight in. Last night I watched VHS, which is another horror anthology. Not quite to the extent that the ABCs of Death was. There's only a couple of different segments in this film. But I'd heard a lot about it prior to watching it. I've been wanting to watch it for quite a while now. Heard good reviews, like I said. So I got it on Netflix. Watched that, and I was pleasantly surprised by how good it was. Basically, what happens is there's a group of people, and they decide to go break into this house to steal a videotape. And basically, what happens is we get to see a selection of these videotapes, the VHSs, which are all basically short little horror stories. So it's really cool. There will be spoilers from now on, anyway. Not that I've warned you before in many other videos, but we'll go from there. So basically, the film opens with a group of dicks, basically, just going around filming themselves being dicks. Go around just smashing things up. They harass a woman. Basically, just random crap intermingled with a possible sex tape. So it's like you pretty much nailed on the idea that these guys are all dicks. And they're selling these videos on the internet for $50 a pop or something. It's like, all right, okay. So one of the group decides that he knows a way for them to make big money quick, and it involves going to someone's house, breaking in and stealing a specific VHS that's in there. So they go break into this old guy's house, and they get there, they find him dead. Obviously, because they've broken in, they don't phone the police or anything, they're just searching around for this VHS still. And at that point, we get to see some of the VHS tapes. So we go from that story, we see a story, and then it cuts back to them at separate points. But I'll just tell you what happens in their story, basically. Obviously, when we come back, the group have been searching for other stuff, and within the different films, we come back and see some of the other guys have disappeared, or they've been killed or something. There is one particularly good one because when one of the guys sits down to watch one of the VHS tapes, he'll put the camera in front of him like I have done here, and he's sitting watching straight on the screen, so there'll be the glow of the screen coming off, and the old dead guy behind is sitting in the chair right behind him, so you can kind of see just off the shoulder, so you would be right there. And basically, after one of the films, you got back to the guy, and the dead guy's gone. He's moved. Like I wouldn't have realised that he'd gone. I'm still just sitting there, but like, ooh, I've seen this coming for 20 minutes, and it's just starting to happen now. But nothing happens. It goes into the next VHS, and then you come back, and another one of the guys walks into the room where the dead guy isn't there anymore, and the guy watching the tape isn't. So people are starting to kind of get picked off one by one. When we get towards the end, we do get to the point where the dead old guy comes back as a zombie dude. Basically, goes up, starts smushing people, and the leader of this gang is like the last one left. He falls into the basement. He's on the floor, and there's basically just some human type thing shuffling around in the basement, and so, which is cool because you don't care for any of those characters. You know that they're all dicks. Like, you've seen the stuff they go around doing. They break into this guy's house, so it's like that's karma. It's karma, that is. But I'll go through some of the different films now. All of the separate shorts are done by different directors as well, so it is a proper anthology film. It's not just split into little segments. So the first one, I've got them all up here again, so I don't get them confused or anything. So that was the tape 56, is what it goes by, like the main narrative of it. So the first one is called Amateur Night, and it was directed by David Bruckner. So it's Basically, what it is, it's a group of 3 college guys getting ready to go out, and it's all POV because the guy's wearing glasses and he's got like a teeny weeny little camera in the glasses, so he's basically recording everything. They go out, they get drunk, they meet a group of girls, and they end up taking 2 of them back to the hotel. Things are going to get sexy, and then one of the girls kind of passes out. So after an uncomfortable amount of asking the guy to not do anything to her, he basically decides to turn around and talk to this other girl that POV guy's been talking to. So that's a bit uncomfortable anyway. But basically, this girl's weird, and you find out the whole extent of how weird she is. She turns into like this weird kind of, I'm saying weird a lot, like a vampire type thing, and basically just kills the crap out of the first dude. She gets the second guy as well, and then you see close up on her face, and it's actually like really good, like makeup and effects and stuff, because it's like one giant just big split down her face, and it's like, ew, that looks a bit freaky. But basically, she's got a thing for this guy with the glasses on. So she doesn't kill him straight away or anything. He tries to escape, falls downstairs, breaks his wrist, so you get a lovely little POV close up of his bone coming out of his wrist. And then the one really freaky part of that is he's looking at that, and because he's lying at the bottom of the stairs, he just turns around, looks up, and she's kind of just crouched and popped her head around. That was a bit freaky. But she likes him, so she goes down to see him, tries to go down and see him, if you know what I mean. But obviously, because he's terrified, nothing happens. So she's like, "What, you don't like us?" He gets away a bit, but then gets picked up and flew away. And then we don't know what happens because his glasses fall on the floor from a very large height. So I've got a good idea what happens to him. So that was a cool little film. I mean, it did drag on a bit when like they're in the club and stuff, watching them get drunk and all that type of jazz. But apart from that, it was a really cool segment. Like I said, you do feel a bit uncomfortable at times when the guy's still wanting to have sex with the other girl, but it's like, you get past that. Cool effects, so another really good short. The next one is called Second Honeymoon. It's directed by Ty West. It's basically just a couple going out on a trip. They've got their camcorder, they're just filming random stuff. They get to like one of those fortune teller machines like in Big, which is what the girl says as well. Gives them this fortune, basically says things are going to change and whatnot. Don't let your good nature be the best of you, or something like that. Go back to the hotel room, do a bit of flirtiness, and then there's a knock on the door. It turns out this girl is going around asking if she can get a lift, basically. So it's like, alright, bit weird that you come round like at midnight to ask for a lift, but it happens anyway. You do that, and then basically they contemplate phoning the police. They decide not to, and they go to sleep for the night. And then cut to, it's like obviously all the lights are off and everything. This camera has just got the torch, and it's just a close up of the guy in bed. So it's like, alright, the girl's got up and had one around. But then the camera then goes to the girl in the bed as well. And for me, that was a proper really freaky moment. Because like, at first I did genuinely think the girlfriend's just changed her mind and decided to get a bit frisky. But it's someone else in the room. And then like they pull the cover off the girl. So you think, oh, things are going to get naughty sexy. But then like there's a knife and it's like, oh crap. Funny part though, they go into the toilet, get the toothbrush and spill it round in the toilet. That was pretty funny. But basically, yeah, that happens. This person takes money out the guy's wallet and whatnot. We're up the next day, carrying on with this couple, don't know anything's happened at all, just carrying on with our little holiday. And then the next one we see on the night time in the hotel room is basically this person that had the camera gutting the crap out of the dude's neck in bed, and there's just blood everywhere. So this person goes into the bathroom, washes their hands, and then we see in the mirror, this person takes the mask off, it's a girl, and then they start making out with the girl, like the fiance, wife, whatever, of the dude that just died. She was in cahoots the whole time. So, it was a cool little twist. Proper genuine creepy moment when the camera's there in the night. That part will get under your skin well, it won't now because I've told you what happens. But if you did watch it the first time and were like, you know what I mean. So I would think that was probably better than the first short. So that was my favourite up to that point. The next one is Tuesday the 17th, which is directed by Glenn McQuaid. Basically, hold on, where am I? Yeah, this one is kind of like a group of kids going to the woods. You got all your normal cliches, and it's like this girl's talking about a series of murders that have happened, and it's like you're all going to die out here. So you've got the usual stereotypes and stuff, but basically you can't see this killer person that turns out is there. The only way you see him is through like glitches in the camera. So there's a part where there's two of the group, they're out, the guy's got the camera filming a girl, and then there's just see a load of glitches and whatnot, and then knife through the back of the head and out through the eye, dead. And then the guy gets smushed up as well. So basically it's kind of like this unseeable stalker killer dude going around killing them all. Turns out this girl had previous experience of him and got away the first time, as she keeps mentioning with her friend, smashing her skull on a wall and whatnot. But then it does eventually get her and pulls all of her junk out of her belly, so dead. It was alright. I liked the way they did the killer with the glitching in the camera and not being able to see and stuff. That was interesting. But apart from that, I know they were trying to do the stereotypes, but it was just, no thanks. But it was alright, I suppose. Totally negating myself and everything then. The next one, The Sick Thing That Happened to Emily When She Was Younger, by Joe Swanberg. This one is very interesting. It's kind of done, what it is, it's like what would be a Skype conversation between a girl and this boy that she's with, I'm assuming. Basically, he's a doctor, he's in a different city away for work or something, and she's basically talking to him, and she mentions that she thinks that her house is haunted. She's got an itch on her arm, which is getting worse, and basically she does think the place is haunted, but we do see little goings on. There is one kind of jump scare where the camera's facing her like this, and you can see an open door in the background, and there's nothing there, and then all of a sudden you just see like something pop through, and it's like a little kid just runs straight through, and she does kind of a natural reaction to what would happen like that, and just kind of goes, "Ah!" Just turtles herself up. I imagine I would do something like that, but with a more manly scream, obviously. So then obviously it progresses to the next day and stuff. The thing in her arm's getting worse, and she's kind of fiddling it with it off camera, and he has to see. And she's basically picked like a massive hole and just digging around with forks and stuff. So clearly going a bit mental with it as well. It goes on. She sees more things as well. Like she gets him on the camera in the middle of the night, asking him to record all these things, which he keeps forgetting to do. And obviously you see all of these things. Then it gets to one point in which she sees two girls in the house, and she basically gets knocked unconscious by them. At which point, in this bottom corner, you see the guy disappear, and he walks in through a door to her house, and just starts rummaging around inside her, and he pulls out like this kind of alien-y, fetusy thing from her, and he's talking to someone off camera as well. So that was a bit. Then you see her the next day, she's all bruised up, and she's been to a doctor, and that he's recommended, and this doctor's told her she's like schizophrenic and stuff. So super creepy because as well after that, because you know this guy's been using her for some weird alien-y sciencey thing with someone else, but then the story with her concludes, and you see him talking to another girl in the same way as well. So you know it's going on for quite a few. So I thought that was a really cool story. That was probably my favourite one in the whole film, to be honest. Really creepy. So yeah, and there was one more. It was called 10/31/98, so Halloween '98 basically. It was written and directed by a group called Radio Silence, which is Matt Bettinelli Alpin, Tyler Gillett, Justin Martinez, and Chad Villala, or something like that. So it's pretty cool. Another kind of POV. The guy's dressed up for a Halloween party. He's dressed up as a nanny cam, so he's in a big bear costume with a camera in the nose of the bear. They get to this house. They wander around, they can't find anyone. There's kind of these hauntings happening. Through the camera you see things moving just out of your line of sight and like a shadow walking away and whatnot. Basically they're just wandering around this house looking for the people. They can hear noises, so it's coming from upstairs. So wandering around trying to find a way to get upstairs. They eventually find upstairs and walk in on basically a sacrifice, but what they think is a show for part of this Halloween party. So they go up, they start chanting with these other guys who realise that there's someone there, and they're like, "No, get out, get out!" And that's when things get cray-cray. Spirits in the house start pulling these guys away, and you see like hands coming through walls and things floating around and whatnot. So they try to escape, but they decide to go back and get the girl that was going to be sacrificed. Take her through the house again, more hands coming out everywhere. Like they go to the doors, door handles disappear, windows close shut. It kind of reminded us of that episode of Buffy. The name of the episode completely baffles me mind, but they get stuck in like the haunted house and the doors all disappear. So Giles comes in with a chainsaw, and whatchamacallit. Why have all the names have gone? Dressed up as a bunny. Anya, there you go. I love Anya. But yeah, it was kind of like that. They eventually get out. They put her in the car. They drive away with her, take her to hospital. All of a sudden, like she's in the backseat with two lads. All of a sudden, disappears. She's gone. The car stops, which turns out to be on train tracks, and then you just see this girl standing right in front of the car all of a sudden, just start walking away. And then train smash. Bang, dead. So yeah, that was a pretty cool one as well. I think you can tell in some of them how you get more of a, not necessarily more of a budget, but how people use it in different ways. I think the effects in that one did look really cool, like with the hands out the walls and stuff. Genuine kind of jump scare when you see her stand in front of the car. So yeah, another really cool film. Like I said, I think my favourite one was probably the sick thing that happened to Emily when she was younger. So that was really cool. I would definitely recommend watching this film. I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10. Tonight, what I'll be watching, I'm going to watch Sinister. I haven't seen that yet. It's supposed to be really cool and creepy and bleh. So I'm going to watch that, and then probably after that, if I can get a hold of a copy in time, I'm going to watch VHS 2 to see how that stacks up with this one. I did go through what films I've actually watched so far. I'm a couple short of being on target for my 31, but obviously included in that, I've watched some TV and stuff. And today I watched quite a few short films. What I'll do is, when I put this up on my blog on the geordiegeek.wordpress.com, I'll embed a couple of these videos and I'll just link you, pardon me, to the rest of them, but I'll just quickly talk about some of them. One of them is called One Last Dive. It's only like a minute long. It was done for a little project about something scary happening at 3:07 in the morning. What it is, it's point of view, scuba diver, assuming for the police, going down. You swim down, obviously pitch black, just torchlight. You see a bike down there, and then you see like a buggy kind of chained down there as well, and then starts swimming off, and then all of a sudden jump scare. But I'll not tell you what it is because jump scare. So it was really cool. Considering it's all just one shot, 1 minute, pretty cool, effective jump. The next one was called the Sleepover. Hold on, that was done by Jason Eisner for the 3070M project. Again, all these links will be on my blog, not this video, the blog. The next one was called the Sleepover. That was about 5 minutes long. It's kind of a play on slasher tropes. Two little kids getting tucked in for the night by the babysitter, and they go through saying, have you checked under the bed, have you checked the closet, because this town knows that they've got a slasher, and they've got to go through a series of tests, babysitters, to make so they can get a babysitter's license, which is really cool. One of the kids doesn't live in the town, so he doesn't go through all the processes. There's a slasher in the bedroom, he gets it, and then the man comes in to the dark, empty house with everything smashed up, shouting, and then you can see the end from there. So that was done by, where's it gone? Chris Kalari. Sleepover by Chris Kalari. The next one is a short. It's called Mama, which is the short that Guillermo del Toro actually watched, which inspired him to make the feature-length Mama. So if you've seen that, it doesn't need much explaining. The two little girls in a house, one wakes the other one up saying, Mom's back, so they go to the top of the stairs, basically walk through the house, and then they see Mama. And the effects are pretty cool. So yeah, that's a pretty cool one. Don't need to say much about that. That was done by, the name escapes me. Yeah, it was done by someone. Don't Move was done, it's on bloodycuts.co.uk. It's probably about 15 minutes long. These friends have got a Ouija board, things go wrong, there's something in the house, and if they move they get killed, proper killed. So obviously people start to move. There is one really ingenious bit with a phone call which I thought was awesome, but I'll not spoil much of that for you, just so you can watch that one for yourself. The next one was called The Little Mermaid. I've seen this one before by Kim Oxlund. It's kind of really old-timey, carnival, kind of freaky anyway. There's this real-life mermaid woman in a bath. A guy gives her a fish, feeds her. Haha, you're an attraction. People leave. She asks for help. He doesn't give it. So then he goes to a different room. He has this beautiful singing. Goes back in. It's a beautiful woman sitting in the tub, because obviously she's a mermaid or a siren type thing, using her wiles to make him think that's his old smushy lovely, going in for a kiss, and she bites his face off. So that one was cool. Next one's called Suckablood. It's kind of like a grim story type thing. Another one on bloodycuts.co.uk. Proper little. It's like a Brothers Grimm story basically about don't suck your thumb or you're going to get done, which isn't the rhymes that they use, but they could have really. So that's cool. Watch that. Cool little twist at the end. Next one was called Click, from Popcorn Horror. It was a film that was done with the UK Film Council and Yorkshire. Yorkshire did a film. It's really cool. A group of kids are like playing around, go in this empty building, and they shut themselves in a room, turn the lights on and off, which is something pretty much everyone's done before in the dark. But when they turn the lights back on, they disappear one by one. So it's really cool, really tense atmosphere and whatnot in that. So watch that. Perished is kind of a zombie apocalypse horror thing, but it's quite good in that it just shows how trivial death can be in a situation like that. I'm trying to make them shorter now because I've rambled for ages. The next one was En Puntas by Javier Perez. I've seen this one before. This is the ballet dancer where she's dancing on knives. It's pretty creepy. Nothing scary happens. It's just there's someone dancing on her tiptoes on knives. Kind of weird. So you'll have to watch that one. And the last two, So Pretty and So Dark. Who are they done by? continuum. There are 2 vampire shorts. So Pretty is the first one, So Dark is the sequel to it. It's basically a guy is a vampire. He's talking to a woman on a train that reads Twilight, and how vampires are all lovely and so mysterious and all sparkle. Yeah, that's not what a vampire is, and that's basically what he tells her. Things happen in that to make her see that things aren't lovely and sparkly and colour-y, because screw you, Cullens. And then I'll not say anything about So Dark because it's a direct follow-on, so you'll have to watch the first one as well. So yeah, really cool. I know I've rambled on a lot on this one. All the links to all the videos I've just said will be on my blog, geordiegeek.wordpress.com. You can talk to us on Twitter. I'm at Dixon10, use the 31films hashtag. Like, comment, subscribe, share, whatever. There's only going to be one more night of film watching. So this could be the penultimate video, or it might be the penultimate video, because I might do an overview. Probably not. Don't know, don't quote us on that. So until then, see you tomorrow.